For our third talk this morning, I'd like to welcome Sarah Killick. Sarah is a Principal Advisor for Biosecurity at the Auckland Council, and her talk is on Mahi Tahi, working together for kauri ora in Te Ngāherehere o Kohukohunui Hūnua. Welcome, Sarah.
Forward back. Awesome, thank you. Kia ora, thank you for that. I'm here today on behalf of Auckland Council, but also more specifically on behalf of our Kohukohunui operational group, to share how we work together on our recent kauri ora survey. This here is Kohukohunui, or Te Ngāherehere o Kohukohunui. It is part of our Hūnua Regional Park. And it is in part, although not entirely, a kauri forest ecosystem. So we can see a lot of kauri here in the foreground. But it is also part of our water care catchment area. So quite a special place. And it's right here on the southern border, actually slightly over in parts, our southern border of Auckland region. It's interesting from a management perspective because it is a shared land space. So we have, this does work, that's cool. Auckland Council land here, which is, as I said, is got the water reservoirs. We also have some Department of Conservation in yellow up here, down here. And private property on the outer edge, which shares contiguous forest. Nā iwi mana whenua of Te Ngāherehere o Kohukohunui include Ngātai Ke Tamaki, Ngāti Tamaoho, Ngāti Whanonga, Ngāti Paua, and Ngāti Tamatera. So we formed together a group with almost all our iwi reps, not Ngāti Paua, no busy, but Ngātai Ke Tamaki, Ngāti Tamaoho, Ngāti Whanonga, Ngāti Tamatera, Auckland Council and Department of Conservation. We came together to plan a kauri ora survey. So for a bit of background, we thought that Kohukohunui might be free of Whaitothra agathatasa, the causal agent of kauri dieback disease, but we hadn't really done a big, like a large-scale survey before, so this was a proof of freedom survey. So we formed our operational group, and we came together to align our aspirations, what we wanted to do, and what was important to us all. We agreed on an accidental find Giving it away. Top button, there we go. We agreed on an accidental fine protocol for if our team members found koiwi or taonga. And that protocol started off as our sort of Auckland Council standard protocol, but we worked together to adapt it based on the needs of people collectively and of the area. So that involves like really fine-tuned decisions. Like if we find something, we'll GPS it for sure. But do we want photos taken? It was decided no photos taken. That sort of level of detail and respect. And we co-wrote an investigation plan together. That investigation plan and also our accidental fine protocol, we have been sharing with others that need it. So that we are trying to further this field and trying to really be leaders in this space. During the course of the mahi, we had kaimahi, local kaimahi that we trained up in kauri survey techniques, and they were also there as an offer of to support, they were there to carry out kaitiakitanga. As part of this survey, we also added in a cultural health indicator monitoring, which wasn't something that we had done before in our previous kauri ora surveys. Those data belong solely to the kaimahi and the iwi, so that's not an Auckland Council owned part. That's not something that we've published. and it's not mine to give away, but our ops group members are happy to have those discussions about how to start something like that. And then we provided live data sharing, almost live data sharing, with the entire ops group. So every day you could see how many trees had been surveyed, and that data was as visible to anyone in the group as Auckland Council. And then we also had those regular hui in person where possible to discuss that progress and problem solve together. So it was a truly, from the start, right through the thick of it, a joint collaboration. And something I'm really proud to have been a part of. Something novel to us at Auckland Council was a soil repatriation process. So it was really important to our members that we really respect the soil. Generally what happens with our kauri sampling nationally actually is that we take the soil from the land to a lab. That's baited and then autoclaved and then thrown out in the tip, essentially. And that didn't gel well with the tikanga for soil, the importance of the mauri of the soil. So we worked together with MPI as well and our lab partners to create a protocol to safely return any negative samples back to the land. Not to the trees from which they originated, but to the Kohukohunui space. We found an area that had no kauri in it, and we felt that that was sort of the safest we could do. Following the mahi, we maintained a regular hui to discuss the data analysis side, and we also worked together to co-author the report. So this map here shows the placement of kauri within the ngahere. So actually not evenly spaced throughout, but around the outer east-south sort of side there. This is a view of our dashboard that we all had access of. So it's updated as soon as the crew got in every night and had reception. But it shows a live count of the trees. So on that day it was 194 of our council, 255 of our doc. And also allowed sharing of photos of not just the kauri but also the broader ngahere. So it's a really cool piece of tech. Over summer, Department of Conservation allowed us, lent to us their field team, and so we had our kaimahi teach the DOC field team how to do a kauri order survey. So it was a nice piece of learning going on there. And these are our results. So the Whaitotara agathaticida is in red dots. And if you can't find any, it's because there weren't any there that we found. So fantastic news. We had, out of 561 soil samples, 0 detections of agathaticida. We also included 20 stream baiting, more as a pilot than anything. And that also had 0 detections of PA. So happy news. For the Stat-C sample, we can't say it's 100% certain that it's free, but we're 97 to 99.9% certain that if PA was present at 1% or higher, we would have detected it. But yeah, we're pretty confident. The cinnamomum was present. Typically across Auckland, about half of our samples come back positive. It was slightly higher for Kohukohunui at 63.5%. For Waitakere, that's 53%. So it is higher here. But in addition to the soil sampling, we did kauri ora, so kauri health assessments. And we found that there was no association with any symptoms and cinnamoma presence. So it doesn't seem to be causing disease here, or at least not across the population. So we did have some trees that were a little bit sick, but not very many. Vast majority of kauri were very, very healthy. And the trees that were a little bit sick were just around here, And this is right where a dam is, so it's a disturbance site. And we also had quite substantial flooding the year prior, and some of the land had subsequently slipped, so I think those root plates were also a bit damaged underneath there. That's just my opinion, though. We didn't dig underneath to have a look. Here is our soil repatriation day. So our nicely heat-treated soil being replaced back in the Ngāherehere on the outer edges by our team. We had karakia for the soil and shared some kai afterwards. It was a really an important moment and a lovely way to close out that survey. Something I really would recommend discussing as an option. So the impacts of our results. Having a kauri forest of this size, being we're reasonably sure free of Whaitotara agatharista, makes it a nationally significant kauri forest. That's a really big piece of Ngāherehere to have in such good health. And it's really important that we continue to keep it in good health. So the work that we've been doing already together to protect the forest, including hygiene stations and trying to have the highest risk of activities away from the kauri stands, it's really important that we continue doing that. We don't ease up on it. Some of the things that we have been doing in that space is including new hygiene stations. So we now have cycle bike hygiene stations to clean off dirt from the bikes that go around the trails there. And we now place even more emphasis on things like ordering work to start in Hūnua and then move to riskier locations. So we don't go from Waitakere, which has Whaitotara agatharista, to Hūnua. And we place a few more rules on our research teams, for example. So things like having Hūnua boots, so Kohukohunui boots specifically, just to minimise that risk as much as we can. So it's very much a pathway management situation. This study, we've intended it as a group to be a baseline. So it's our first really big survey. It's not our first survey at all, but it's our first land scale survey. And that will be the baseline from which we measure change. So there's an intention to go back in the future. And we will continue to work and have continued to work with that Kohukohunui ops group. Not just in the kauri ora space, but actually broadly in the Ngāherehere ora space. When we do revisit from a kauri ora perspective, that will not likely be every tree, but a subset of those trees in the future. We've all agreed that there's been a massive benefit from us working together from the design stage right at the beginning, right through to publication. So not just swooping in at the end. And the inclusion of kaimahi has been a fantastic asset. Well, I can only speak for our side, but it's been fantastic having them join our team, and a real pleasure. And I hope as well a benefit to them as an investment in that space. And we collectively encourage everyone else to do the same. We're very happy to help have those conversations and help guide how that might work on the ground. We're happy to share our documents that we created together as well, because I don't think that everyone should have to sort of reinvent the wheel every time we start a new project like this. And I've got the QR code for our report. So that has not just the technical methods for doing the survey and, of course, our very good results, but we also have as the appendices our survey forms and a lot of our stuff we created together to do this kind of work. So please check it out if you're doing a kauri ora survey. And that's all I've got today. Thank you. Oops, sorry.
Thank you, Sarah. We do have time for questions. Are there any questions out there?
I must have been thorough. Oh.
Kia ora, thank you for sharing. I was interested in your slide where you talked through the process around the, now I can't remember what the words were. If you could flick back to your slide where, in the planning, sorry.
Could you please?
Oh,
Can I? Or maybe I can.
it was around the cultural health data.
There
If you could explain more about that.
Just stop me when I get to the slide.
Right. Yeah, that one.
That one?
Well, on the middle section.
How we...
Cultural health indicator data, yeah.
So
What's that referring to, and tell me more about it.
I can tell you a little bit about it. The process for making it was, I wasn't in the room for that. Our iwi representatives had a discussion together about what was significant to them to track. So I did see it at the end, but I didn't create it. That's not my space. But that included things like the smell and mauri of the forest, the feel of it. The bird song was part of it. The freshness of the water was part for the stream stuff especially, and the presence of certain species. So invertebrates was one, and the flourishing of the stream plants was one as well. Yeah.
Kia ora.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Hey.
Are there any plans to extend or expand this program to other areas of Kauri forests?
Thank you for asking that. Yes. We are in discussion to undertake similar surveys in Aotea, the Great Barrier Island, and the Hauraki Gulf. So that'll be the next one of the stand. Yeah.
Okay, we've probably got time for one more question if there is one. No?
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming.